Getting to a payout is the ultimate goal when it comes to trading a PropFirm account. What have I been working on to get to this point where I'm now able to submit my payouts with Apex? I'm going to break down some tips and some ideas, things that I've had to adjust as a day trader to get to this point where I can now submit payouts with Apex. If you guys have looked at Apex before, you probably know about the 10-day payout policy, the way that it works. You need to have 10 trading days to then be able to submit a payout request. As you can see here in this video, right over here to the right, you see I have 10 days, 10 days, 10 days, 10 days in 5 accounts. And then I have 11 accounts with 8 days. So I got my 9th trading day today, the day of this video. My accounts, the payouts, the date they're submitting the payout today. The payout status is currently pending. So once those 11 other accounts get to the point where obviously they show 10 days, they don't need to be 10 profit days. They don't. They can just be 10 trading days in general. And you're allowed to flip, meaning you're allowed to basically like buy and sell one contract, micros for 2 days. So you're allowed to do it 2 days. And then the rest of the time, you just need to trade consistently, right? Trade like you normally would. If you're going to trade with 5 contracts, you need to trade with 5 contracts consistently. You can't just trade 5 contracts one day and then the rest of the time you trade with micro contracts. So you really need to focus on just being consistent, right? So consistency, that's a big thing, a big lesson, something that we've talked about pretty much with every aspect of trading. You either need to be a consistent loser, you need to be a consistent winner, you need to have consistency in your trading. And I've talked about this before, that it's really hard to get to a point where you can consistently win if your losers are not consistent as well, right? If you have a lot of profit and then all of a sudden one bad trade wipes out all of your profit, you've got a very big issue with being consistent with your losers just as much as you are trying to be consistent with your winners. I see people, they talk about trying to have $1,000 a day every day. I want to make $1,000 every day. Hey, that's a great goal, but what's your risk on that, right? What are you willing to kind of walk away with? And that's something that I've really had to kind of also focus on myself. So, the consistency thing is a big thing, no matter what broker you're with, no matter how you're trading. In general, you got to find consistency. And that was something that I really had to kind of focus again with Apex. It wasn't like, hey, I can have 2 or 3 really big profit days and then give back profit. No, it was like, I need to find just consistency in general. And I was able, to grow that account, and I was able to grow this account. Like 24,000 is a total P&L in this 150 account. If I go to the chart here, it kind of shows my profit and loss here. Like my biggest profit day, 3,000, my biggest profit day was 3,700 with like 1,600, 2,300, 1,600, and then 44 on the 10th day just to get that roll. So we are looking for consistency in general. I would say for me in the 150K account, I'm kind of aiming for, trying to get that $1,000 or kind of idea. But in general, 24,000, 14,000, 22,000, and then 5,000 in those accounts. And again, trading with multiple accounts means I don't need to have big profits every single day, right? I don't need to have big profits every single day. It's okay to just have these $300, $400 days, because if I can have these $300 days and do it for 10 days straight, that's going to be close to $4,000, $5,000 in profit on the week. So I really just need to focus on hitting those small winners over and over consistently and getting to that payout, right? The only thing that matters at this point is the payout, right? That is all that matters at this point. If you look at today's price action, I talked about it live on live stream, was, okay, we had a really good move at open. We squeezed straight up. We consolidated. We start to move down. And although I look at this and I'm like, in hindsight, I'm like, well, I should have got short. I should have got short. Oh, I should have got short. In hindsight, yeah, there's a lot of really easy trades here. In the moment, for some reason, I just wasn't feeling the price action. I wasn't in love with it. It wasn't really like my normal style of trading, I guess, kind of to get that momentum and then get a total reversal. I'm not like a big reversal trader, right? I'm really not. I'm more of a overall like directional momentum style trader. So when we get a first big push there at open, it's hard for me to be like, okay, we've hit this level and now I'm just going to get short and we're going to move back down. Like it's hard for me to kind of change my overall thought process at that point. I know I could be better at it 100%, but I also know that like the biggest focus for me right now is knowing what I'm good at and knowing what I'm bad at and knowing when to trade and when to put my pedal to the metal, right? If I'm going to trade hard, it needs to be a good setup. It needs to be an overall moving market. I'm a momentum style trader. So like this type of action here, when it's just like chopping and going sideways, like I just stay out of it. It's better just to stay out of it and remove that FOMO, remove the emotion that I have to be in the trade. You know, I would say one of the hardest parts for me is knowing when to trade and when not to trade. Most traders feel the same way. When do you put it on? When do you not put it on? When should you go for it? When do you not? And I think you really got to kind of look at the market, see where your setups are, see what you're looking for, and really be like, okay, like if this happens, if something happens that I think should happen based on the momentum in the market, if that happens, then I'll take a trade. If something totally opposite happens and we're not really like in line with it, you know, I'm bullish at the open and then all of a sudden it starts to crash back down and I'm like looking at it, I'm like, you know, what am I going to do here? I think you really just got to know when to stay in it and when to not be in it. And also when you're up, you know, big on the day, again, there's nothing wrong with walking away, knowing when to walk away. I think about all those really, you know, big profit days that I've had in the past. So I've had plenty of days where I was up $10,000, $15,000 in a day, and I would end up walking away literally in the red. Like that's how crazy it is to think about. Like, wow, like I was really, like, what was I thinking? So the moral of the story here is knowing when to hold them and when to fold them. So again, consistency. And then knowing that not every single moment of every single day is going to be the best time to trade. It's just that simple, right? If there's no news, we don't have something big happening, it's just like the market's just kind of moving from level to level, then we're going to stay out of it. We're going to not trade it. And we're going to be okay with that, because the issue here is if you're not okay, right, with that, what will happen? You blow up your account. Now you got to start over an evaluation. You got to build that back up. I've had so many times this year so far. Today's April 1st. This is not a April Fool's joke, but I've had so many times where, you know, I've had 6 profit days or just 7 trading days in general in a funded account with Apex. And I ended up blowing up the whole thing, right? Like I've 100% done that. I've admitted to that. And I've identified like, okay, look, like this time around, Patrick, we're going to stay in it and we're going to really kind of look to capitalize, you know, on consistency more than anything. Because again, like it doesn't matter if I have $50,000 in profit in one day. Like it don't fucking matter. Who cares? If I'm not getting those payouts at the end of the 10 days, then why does it matter? Like it doesn't matter. If you're not taking the payouts, it don't matter what you're doing in between. So my goal right now is just to kind of keep doing what I'm doing. I mean, we're doing great. We're building up the accounts. We're getting the P&L where we need to. And, you know, we might have missed out on a few moves here and there. Like maybe we do, but it's okay. Because again, like I don't sit here and think about all the times that I missed out on moves. Like I really don't. I've been doing this trading for 7 years now. I've been trading for 7 years. And the last thing that I think about is like, man, remember that one time back in 2022 when I could have gotten short, but the market ended up, oh man, if I would have only gotten short back in 2022, like, no, I don't think about it. I don't even like lose sleep over the idea of what setups I've missed out on. What I am losing sleep over is the fact that I'm not getting the payouts that I should, that I'm not being consistent, that I'm not following the plan. Like those are real regrets. So you got to ask yourself, like, do you want to regret the fact that you missed out on a setup, or do you want to regret that you blew up your account because you didn't follow the plan, because you tried to overtrade, that you had the FOMO, you got greedy, whatever it is? That's the big question. Like, do you want to regret blowing up your account, or do you want to forget about the setup that you missed out on? And obviously, like my whole entire like life is based on YouTube and, you know, my live streams. And so it's like, if I miss out on a setup, not only do I miss out on it, but I also get to hear about it afterwards. Like I get to hear everybody in the chat go like, oh, I told you. And I'm like, hey, I honestly don't give a fuck. And I really don't. So that's another thing. I got to just remove that emotion that I have to like be in a trade, that I've got to constantly be right. You know, I said earlier, I was like, I don't know if I want to get short here at the 600 level. And bang, look at that big move down. Looking at it in hindsight, like I don't have any emotion. Like I'm like, okay, whatever. It didn't work, right? Like I thought it was going to go higher, continue momentum. We got denied. We pulled back. Was I wrong? No. Did I lose money? No. So who the fuck cares what happened? When I took my profit and I walked away, I went to Chipotle and I came back and the market moved. I'm like, hey, who the fuck cares? I got green in my account. I've got payouts coming for me. I've got profits. I got profits. I don't give a fuck about the move that I missed. you know, sitting here looking at it, I'm like, oh, well, if I would have shorted there and sold it there, you know, I would have made $1 million. But in hindsight, it's always fucking easy. So again, we're focusing on consistency. We're focusing on what we need to do to get a payout. We're focusing on, it don't matter if I fucking miss out on a setup. It don't fucking matter, because all that matters is it the first of the month? Am I getting a payout or am I not? Am I getting a payout or am I not getting a fucking payout? Payouts, payouts, payouts. Let's go, my friend.